Right? If not, then we move on to module 9. This is the last module for the entire program, which is very important and powerful. Why? Because if you do this enough, more committed to this, you find that, uh, over time, you find that other people will have a better impression of you than before. And when they have a better impression of you than before, the dynamic with them will change gradually for the better. So I think this is what we want. We want to shift our life, ourselves, to become a better version over time. And a lot of time you find that it's very tough to do that shift in the physical world. Now, this program offers you another option to shift your life without having to do a lot of things in the physical world. Why? Because when you clear your inner world, things will start to change in your physical world. Right? So this is what module 9 is about, creating a new you. So basically, what we want to do is look at the energy of your belief. When I say belief, means belief system. It's not about your belief about energy, but your belief about everything else. So I don't care whether you believe energy is there or not there, that doesn't matter. But is your belief about everything else, about life, about yourself, about this person, about that person, about money, everything else. How you fit into the world, are you good enough? All these are beliefs. Yes, Helen, our lens to view the world. Yes, yes. What kind of lens you use to view the world basically is based on your belief system. So you are right to say that our lens to view this system, wrong, to view this world. Just remember what kind of lens we choose. Finally, choose is based on the belief that we have. Okay, so these beliefs gives you an added layer of understanding to everything you have learned so far. Okay, so you can use this tool in this tool that I'm going to share with you in module 9 to shift your belief. And once you shift your belief, basically you shift your reality. And this is important because we really want to shift our reality, right? Now, before we talk about the go into the in depths of the belief, let's talk about one thing called what is stuck energy. What is stuck energy? Okay, basically, what does it look like energetically, lah? And then how does it get that way with the stuck energy? And how does it affect your perception? And once it affect your perception, it will make you mold into a certain thing called, oh, I know this is going to happen, or I know that won't happen, I know for sure this is the way. So over time, that become your belief. And when that become your part of your belief, then you will adjust your lens accordingly based on that beliefs to view the world and how you should fit into the world. So when you finally understand this portion here about stuck energy and how it affects your beliefs, and you do something about it, which I'm going to share with you what you can do with it, you will get less stuck and you will get less irritated with life bumps because the life bumps will get lesser and lesser and lesser. And then you find that because it get lesser and lesser and lesser, right? Your life seems to suddenly become more easygoing. Everything like sun sun, even got a little bit bump, it get resolved by itself, not much big deal at all. So it's like easygoing. And then after a while, everything starts to look beautiful. Okay, and then after that, you find that you can get along with people very easily or more easily. This is the side effect, so-called side effect, if you keep on removing stuck energy, right? So stop wasting time feeling bad. Seriously, stop feeling time feeling bad. Whatever situation it is, no matter how bad the situation you are in, this is just your perception. Okay? No matter what kind of situation you're in, no matter how bad it seems to you, this is just a perception of that situation. And In that situation, you always have two choices. One is to feel bad about it. Another one is to feel neutral about it. Neutral basically means that yeah, lah, I'm in that situation. No? Okay, I know it, I'm aware of it, I acknowledge it. Let's do something about it. Instead of feeling bad, a lot of people will choose to feel bad. Okay, when they feel bad, then a lot of things will be, a lot of decisions and actions and behavior will comes out from the place of feeling bad. And you know one leads to another, which is very bad. And in no time you have stuck energy already. So it's a huge time and energy drain if you keep on feeling bad with no tangible benefit or whatsoever at all. So if you choose to feel bad, there's no tangible benefit or whatsoever at all. So now I'm offering you an option that there is a way to stop this. So spend your time enjoying life lah, better, right? Because if you feel good, all the details don't really matter even in difficult times. So energy is naturally dynamic, moving, changing, evolving, and always accurate at that moment. That's what we call yang energy. Because yang is always like that, very dynamic, very moving, changing, evolving, and always accurate at that moment. Now, I use the word accurate at that moment. I think I will explain now why I have to write that part up. Always accurate at that moment. And what is accurate at that moment? Energy. Okay, because energy that is naturally dynamic, moving, changing, evolving is always accurate at that moment. So if you are feeling happy right now, is this moment you're feeling happy. But some people are feeling happy because they think back about a happy moment that happened 10 years ago. Then that one is a past energy, no longer a young energy, but a past yin energy. Okay. Some people will continue every day, will feel very sad, very frustrated over an incident that happened a week ago. And every day since then, that person was feeling frustrated. And that feeling, that energy is called yin energy because it's not yang. Because when it's yang, it is always dynamic, it's always accurate at that moment. Okay. So when I talk about energy from the past, it's always yin energy. So yin energy, I can call it as stuck energy. Stuck energy basically means that stuck energy has stopped. It's no longer dynamic and moving. It's stopped. And it looks like an outdated picture that was stopped because of certain incident back in the past, about a week ago, a year ago, 10 years ago, because of a trauma, because of an incident, unpleasant incident. And that emotion was stuck there. And every day you are living with that stuck energy. So this is what I call stuck energy. It's no longer dynamic, it's no longer accurate, it is over, but you're still holding on. So last week when we talk about, during the FAQ, some people are always asking me, when we do this flushing exercise, how fast can we see the result? Right? My answer is depends because of how strongly are you holding on to those stuck energy. If you are, put yourself to be neutral and you choose to let go, then the flushing will become faster. Now, if you keep flushing and yet every day you are relieving those stuck energy, that means you are not planning to let go, then the flushing will drag, become longer. So it will differ from person to person. So basically, yin energy or stuck energy are like old photo frozen in time. So with practice, you can see where and when and where they came from and how they are affecting you or someone else. Right. So from here onward, I'll be using terminology like pictures. Pictures. Why? Because pictures basically, I mean your stuck energy lah. It's like take a snapshot of that stuck energy, because the stuck energy usually are tied to certain incident trauma that happened in the past, and you still hold on to that pictures up to today. So I call it stuck energy, ink energies, or pictures. So pictures, all pictures, your pictures are usually where you get confused. Remember in lesson one, give me a minute now. Remember in lesson one, I say how to improve your life. Number one, you have to clear confusion. Now, when I say young energy will be most accurate at that moment, it will always be dynamic and changing. But if all of us are always holding on to old pictures, and we are influenced by the old pictures, and we live our life based on old pictures, then we'll be creating a lot of confusion for ourselves. Why? It's because these old pictures will get outdated very quickly over time. What works last time or what happened last time may not be relevant today, but we are living our life based on those old pictures, which we believe it still to be true and relevant up to today. But in actual fact, they are already updated. Okay, so those old pictures don't really keep up with reality, with time, reality, and what really happened now, right? So this is called old pictures, and we are usually holding on to a lot of old pictures. Do you have? Remember, yes, last week when we got of decluttering your mind, and then in one part of the guided meditation, we ask you to look through the entire room to see whether there's any pictures, cassette tapes, videotapes, and all these things. All these are old pictures, right? So we want you to throw away those old pictures that no longer serve you. So yeah, last week we already went through one round of clearing these old pictures already. So keep doing it. Now, when you have old pictures everywhere, I have my own old pictures as well. Some I've already discarded. I make the choice to discard some of them. And there are some of them, especially happy memories, I chose to retain them. So you decide lah. You can decide. You can decide what you want to keep, what you don't want to keep, what serve you or what don't serve you anymore. So those that don't serve you anymore, you also have a choice to discard it. And you can decide something is true or not, right? So for example, in the past, for example, in the past, you may have experienced that Singapore public transportation very lousy. Either you wait half an hour, then one bus come, or when one come, two, three come. Have you experienced that kind of moment before? That many, many, many years back when I was younger, Singapore public transportation was really, really very lousy. So maybe because of that incident, I was late for my exam. For example, that's an example. I was late for my exam, and then I was barred from going into the exam hall to take my exam, and therefore I run into trouble with my results, final year results. Maybe it's a O level, and then that caused an incident, a very unpleasant incident or trauma in me. And therefore, I hold on to this old picture to say that Singapore public transportation sucks. So if I hold on to this energy, and in today's world, somebody tell me that, hey, actually, I find that Singapore transportation world class. Suddenly that statement go against what I believe it to be true, no? Because what I believe to be true is that Singapore transportation sucks. But what you're telling me is something that will go against what I believe it to be true. So therefore, I might choose to respond or react unpleasantly also, right? So when I hold on to this kind of thing, this kind of outdated kind of old pictures, actually I'm causing myself troubles, right? Because today context, this information may no longer be true. So in the end, you could have made it all up, and then but then when I notice that, I can decide whether my old pictures is it still true or not. Yeah, so something like that. Now, if I show you the process of how things can become a stuck energy, just now I use my analogy of the Singapore public transportation, and how it can form an incident, an unpleasant incident or trauma in me. Okay, so a lot of things is like that. You decide something is true. Because the incident, I decide that Singapore public transport sucks because of that incident. So I've decided that this statement is true, that Singapore public transportation sucks. And then because I believe that to be true, so I take a picture of the energy. Okay, then I store it. And then I store it so that I can see the pictures again later. So every day I'll bring it out, I'll take a look, I'll remind yourself, say, see, okay, Singapore public transportation sucks. So every day I'll do that. Over time, it become beliefs. So also we go around, we take a lot of old pictures, photos, and then subconsciously, you may not have noticed it, but subconsciously, with all those pictures that you have taken, you will tend to cluster them together, related photos together. Okay, and then we may draw a bigger conclusion based on those cluster of photos, which may be true, may not be true. And then that become our belief also, right? So just remember this, we are always taking photos, we are storing photos, and then we will tend to cluster them together, and then we can also make a bigger conclusion or stories over the cluster of photos that become our belief system, which may be true, not true. So each picture will looks like a story, complete with any modification and personal notes. I repeat, each picture will look like a story, complete with any modification and personal notes. Why did I mention modification and personal notes? Is because when I have these pictures, I will add in my annotation, say that, okay, so if public transportation is sucks, then maybe taxi also sucks, right? Then I should have own my own car, something like that. So car owning, for example, owning a car is a must for me, for example. Because of that belief, it creates me, create another belief system in me that I must own a car, something like that. So I may have a more personal notes to that story. I may make modification based on other photos that I group together as a cluster, and then make modification. So over time, because of this modification, you find that the thing that you think you know is actually not the correct memory. Huh? I'm not sure whether you've experienced this before. The memory that you thought you have gone through and you know is true may not be exactly that memories that had happened actually. Why? Because over time you may have modified here a bit, modified there a bit until you believe that the modified memory is the correct one that actually took place. And then you keep insisting. Have you ever encountered people insisting that they were right in certain memories, but in the end, when we check the record, said, see, I told you it didn't happen at all, but I don't know why you have this memory. Okay, why it happened is because we keep modifying over time the original copy. We modify until become a modified copy, and we believe that the modified copy is the correct one. This is dangerous. That is why people can get into dispute, is because of all these modified pictures. So your pictures cumulatively put together is actually known as the energies of your belief system. So if we see belief system as energies as well, then it is consisting of all these pictures that you put together. So this is your model, how the world works. So the model of my world, for example, in terms of the sound, the story, in my world, Singapore public transportation sucks. In my world. But in other people's world, it may not be so. So everything you decided is true about yourself, about other people, and about the world. And when I say picture of stories, I mean your beliefs. So here, I use a terminology called pictures. And when I use pictures, when I say pictures, it can mean ink energy, it can mean stuck energy, it can also mean your belief system that you buy in to find yourself, to help you fit into the world, to see the world and fit into the world. Okay, how I fit into the world? I tell myself I must own a car, based on just now the example, right? So at this point, please note that everyone, including me, will believe that their own beliefs are true. Any one of you believe that your beliefs are false? No, right? It is your belief because you believe that it's true. That's why it's called belief. So remember this statement here. Everyone will believe that their beliefs are true. But are they really true? Don't know. Can be true, can be not true. So why do we create beliefs? For a simple reason. Number one, all of us are designed that we need a structure or framework for future learning. Remember, we started off with an empty cup. We don't know what we don't know. So therefore, as we learn, as we experience certain things, we have to have a structure or framework so that for future learning, so that when this happens, we know, when I take public transport, I will be late. That become a lesson learned. Huh? Okay, so for future learning, so next time don't take bus, something like that. And also, why we create beliefs is that is for instant response. It's helpful when quick action is needed. It's helpful when quick response. So it helps you with instant response. And at the same time, we create belief is because it provides stability, predictability, and continuity as we live our life. So that's why we create beliefs and we rely so much on beliefs, uh, how we see the world and how we choose to fit into the world. Another thing is belief is not really good or bad, but then there are also inherent dangers. I'll share with you why we need beliefs, right? But now I'm in this slide here, I'm sharing with you the inherent dangers of over relying on your beliefs. Number one, beliefs are static. Remember that's now we talk about young energies are dynamic, ever changing, evolving, and always accurate at that moment. Now, here I say static can be outdated. Beliefs are all your old pictures that you put together. And old pictures are just a snapshot of past energy that are not updating. So it is just stuck at that moment. And we believe it to be true up to today. So they are static and they can be outdated that we don't know. But we rely on them to make life decision day to day. These are just beliefs are just opinions. So my opinion now is that Singapore public transportation sucks. But it can be inaccurate today because these opinions are based on past incidents. And beliefs can also give rise to prejudice, unfair bias, right? So right now I have unfair bias against Singapore public transportation, right? Because of my past incident and that become my belief already, it will give rise to prejudice. So when people have prejudice, right? So just remember that it's because of their belief systems that they are holding on to old pictures. Okay, and beliefs are rigid because you can't easily change beliefs. When I believe it to be good, it will always be good. No matter how much you tell me it's bad, I will still believe it's good. Vice versa. So rigid, can be stubborn. And because you over relying on your own beliefs, you actually inhibit your own learning. Why? Because since you believe that you're already very good, so you will tell yourself that there's nothing more you need to learn, and therefore you inhibit learning. And the last part is pretty scary. It's called self-validating. Self-validating basically means that you will look out for things, you will do things, you will go and find things, purposely find things to self-validate that your belief is correct. Now, the buses could be on time 9 out of 10 times, for example. But because I believe that it is not reliable, that very one time that the bus is not on time, I will blow that out of proportion and say, see, I told you Singapore public transportation sucks. You see, it's not reliable, not coming on time. So this is a very scary thing, self-validation, because you find proof to tell yourself that your belief is still updated. Okay, so Helen say no good, no bad, it depends. Hence, sometimes 旁观者清. Yes, sometimes 旁观者清, which is very true. That's why we have these four Chinese words are called 旁观者清, 当局者迷. Okay, so very clear. So here is to create an awareness about this thing called beliefs, and beliefs are just basically all pictures, and all pictures are basically stuck energy. So pictures are simply how beliefs is manifested as energies. And that's now we talk about, how stuck energy comes about, right? And therefore come to a point whereby we believe that this stuck picture is true. We want to store it. Now, where do we store all those pictures? This is important. Where do we store all those pictures? Based on experience, there are three areas that we may store our, in fact, four. In fact, four. Um, Four areas that we may store our pictures. Number one is chakras. There are many chakras in our body system, but there are seven along the central axis of our body. Seven chakras. So some pictures are stored there. Some pictures are stored inside our energy boundary. Remember your own boundary, the ball? Imagine that picture that show you the boy inside that ball. So there is an outside environment, outside surface boundary, and then the space inside the boundary. So when I say inside energy boundary, means inside that ball. And some are on the outside of the energy boundary. They mean on the energy surface, but it's outside. The fourth one is actually in your cells. In your cells. That's why you have muscle memory. Okay, muscle memory, in such a way that when for example, I know, last time, parents like to use cane to hit their kids, okay. So when the parents do this enough, for example, raising the hand, like as though, there is a tangible cane in the hand, raising the hand like that, it is enough to trigger a so-called muscle memory to the kid that I'm about to get hit or to get caned. And therefore, the quick response is 乖乖, don't cry anymore. Otherwise, the cane will really come. The kind of muscle memory is inside the cell. So actually, there are four major areas that I've noticed that these pictures are being stored. Let me repeat, chakras, inside energy boundaries, outside energy boundaries, and the cells memories. We won't be talking about cells memory. Let's focus on these three major types. Now, why I want to bring this up is because these old pictures will act as filters and expectation. So information coming in and information going out will have to pass through these old pictures, because they will act as filters and expectation. So when information comes into you to you, it will already be customized and filtered through these old pictures and become a message. For example, that's how we talk about self-validation, to tell you about certain things that can self-validate your belief system. Or if you go against your belief, you will know the tendency is you will straight away dispute it, say, no, this can't be true. I don't believe you. Something like that. It become a filter. That means you're not neutral at all. You're not open to say that, maybe there could be some logic behind what you say. Let me check it out. Okay. So how we filter information, I think I've explained that it is through experience, then the filter, then the perception. So with that perception, the final part about the perception is that perception will dictate your thoughts, and your thoughts will dictate your action, your emotion, and then the emotion will dictate your action. Now, when it comes to the action part, it can be by speech, it can be by action. Now, once it comes out as an action, it's like pouring out the water. You can't take it back already. Or when you punch someone, you cannot say that I unpunch. You can't. You pour the water, you cannot take back the water. You score someone, you cannot say I unscore someone. Can't really. Too late. Too late lah. So how we filter information? A lot of time we will reconcile perception with our beliefs. So if it is a new information, it means something you have not heard before, and then it comes in as a very fresh, very new information, you tendency is that you will stay neutral. Am I right to say that? Oh, maybe last year or last 2 year when people talk about AI, this is something very new to everyone in the whole world. When people talk to you about AI, the tendency is that you stay neutral. Like, okay, lor, AI, lor, so what? Lor? I don't feel charged about listening to AI, or using AI. Neutral. But when you receive an information that strengthens your beliefs, you will match it. Okay, you will say, yeah, see, I told you, right? Okay. So for example, if let's say you complain to me about, you're late because of bus is late, it strengthens my belief. So I will agree with you. Say, I know it. The bus sucks. But if you tell me something that is mismatched to my belief, my tendency is to reject. Either reject, I said no, it can't be true, or you ignore what you say, or I'll find 101 reason to say you are incorrect. Can you see how we respond based on our old pictures? Because our old pictures serves as filters. Now, there is one person that I know keep on, if you have followed this guy, okay, keep on what I call that, emphasizing the same thing again and again and again, even up to today, after so many years, uh, he's still harping on the same thing. Basically, he's trying to reinforce, okay, uh, um, his own belief system that, for example, in the last election, it was rigged. Okay, it was rigged. I mean, it was what do you call that? Snatched from him or stolen from him. Something like that. Okay. Now, if let's say someone knows your belief system very well, someone knows your old pictures very well, you are actually opening yourself up for attack very easily. If let's say I know your belief system very well, your old pictures very well, I can always, if let's say I want to sabo you, I can always find a topic that will go against your old pictures, because I know how you will respond for sure. Because when it's a mismatch, you either reject or you ignore or you find 101 reason to tell me I'm wrong. So if you let people know your belief system, your old pictures, people will know where are all your hot buttons. When they want to make you do certain things, or direct your energy to somewhere else, they know which button to press. Okay. So need to control. So you need to control your boundary. No matter what people say, if you have a healthy boundary, you are not wavered by what people say, so that they can't press a hot button. Okay. Now, what I'm trying to tell you here is that the mismatch part basically is could be your hot button. So when there's any mismatch information, you may want to choose to learn to combine beliefs. And when you choose to learn to combine belief, that will be your aha moment. Okay, aha moment. I have one example. I know of a friend. I don't know what was his old pictures. He was initially very against AI, very against, without even knowing what AI can and cannot do. I don't know why he was very against AI. Okay. But after a while, after I show him slowly lah. I know it was tough. It was a tough journey showing him what AI can do, cannot do. He has a growth mindset. Okay, after a while, and he decided to try out on his own. For example, Chat GPT. For example, Chat GPT, and this is what he did like. There's a mismatch, and then but he learned to combine beliefs. So therefore, he's open to try out. That means he stay neutral, switch to neutral, open to try ChatGPT, and now he loves ChatGPT so much. And whatever things he do, he always use ChatGPT to help him in his work. So when he's able to be neutral and try to combine beliefs, that's where his life will shift for the better over time. Otherwise, he'll be stuck in the old pictures. Okay, so your perception, just take note, your perception and communication is always biased. Not only yours, everyone else. The perception and the thing that they say they do is always biased. Why? Because of old pictures acting as filters. So when you talk about your pictures being at outside the energy boundary, basically it means that it's been like a lot of photos stick onto the surface, the external surface of your boundary. External surface, and then when people look at you, right? When people look at you, when people interact with you, they're actually interacting with your old pictures. First, remember this. How they interact with you is how they're interacting with your old pictures because they see your old pictures first. They may not physically see the old pictures, but they can feel the vibes of the old pictures. Whether you are likable, whether you are self-centered, whether you are someone that dislike AI or someone who hates public transport, they will feel your old pictures first before they know the real you. Or sometimes they don't, they will never get to know the real you because you have layers and layers of old pictures outside your energy boundaries. This is bad. I'm not saying that this is totally bad unless you are a spy or secret agent or James Bond that you don't want people to know who you are really, and therefore you need to come up with a lot of different pictures so that people interact with the pictures and not the real you. Okay, so it's like a notice board lah, or notice board and people form opinions of you based on your old pictures first. Take note, when they form opinion, first impression of you based on old pictures, those impression or opinions may already be outdated. It may not fully represent who you are inside. So the more pictures we collect, the more rigid we become with our beliefs. Okay, you can think of someone you know who lives in their own little world. They have very strong opinion. Their reality may seems a bit distorted, like puru with us, with normal people, but they believe it's true. Or they think or see the world in a certain way and nothing can convince them otherwise. So they feel they're 100% right. Those who share their belief are smart and right. Those with different beliefs are stupid and wrong. Have you seen people like this? I've seen. Okay, so they can take any information and twist it to support their views because they can't be wrong. Basically means they can't be wrong. So therefore, they can't grow out of their own belief. They are stuck with their own beliefs, and this is very harmful for them. So just take note that what old pictures can do to you. So if I were to ask you, if I ask someone this question, who they think about you, that means what the question is, because just now I asked whether can you think of someone you know who lives in their little world and they have very strong opinion, their reality seems distorted, blah, 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 blah. Okay. So if I ask someone else, who they think of you as the answer? Who knows? Maybe someone may think of me as I'm living my own world. My belief is very rigid and things like that. Who knows? So just take note, all of us lives in our little own world too. Why? Because all of us have our own belief system, which we believe it to be true. even though they can be outdated. So when you understand this deeply, you can move into fast lane for personal growth. That your belief can be outdated. Example, when it comes to Apple and Android, there are always two camps. Some will feel that Apple is better than Android. Some will feel that Android is better than Apple. Now, if you're an Android lover, when someone say that Apple is better, you will go against your belief already. It's a mismatch, right? So you either refuse, ignore, or you find 101 reason to say they are wrong. Same with the other camp, right? But unless you stay neutral, oh, is it Apple is better? Okay, maybe my next phone I'll try Apple. Then you stay neutral. Then you are opening up yourself for growth. So how to fix this about the mismatch thing? Okay, I show you two steps here. Right, I'll show you two steps here. Later on, I'll show you a more what I call that, more detailed one. Is you can ask yourself, why are my beliefs true? Why are my beliefs about Android is better true? You answer your own question now. Why do I think that Android is better than Apple? Okay, number one. Number two, are my belief useful? If I hold on to this belief, is it useful to me? Okay, so if you can answer these two, usually you can jump out of that stuckness. Okay, so when you get agitated, ask yourself, this is even more detailed. Ask yourself, what belief has been challenged? Or believe that, because my belief is that Android is better than Apple. So this is the belief that's been challenged. Then you can ask yourself, is this belief useful? Not really useful. It's just an opinion, because somehow technology must, okay, each one can take over each one over time. So this belief is not really useful. So is it helping me or others? Not really. If I insisting on my belief, I may get into argument, unnecessary argument with somebody else. So it's not really useful. Okay. And is it making me happy? Neutral. Doesn't make me happy, doesn't make me sad. So can I do without this belief? Can. Okay, I can do away with it without this belief that Android is better than Apple. So if you have come to this conclusion, say I can do without this belief, then you can start to make a choice to say that this is the time I make the choice to delete away this belief. By deleting away this belief, you're actually releasing one stuck energy already, and you become more open, more neutral to things. How to release? Flush it down the grounding cord. One by one, slowly, one by one. Okay, clear all the outdated beliefs. It is okay to live in your own little world. I have my own little world to live into, but usually I don't take it too seriously because I am open to new things. I'm open to AI. I'm open to new metaphysics studies. I'm open to new concepts. I'm open to a lot of things, right? So I don't take my little world very seriously. That means my pictures actually very little. In fact, I've cleared quite a lot of my old pictures already. So therefore, it is also time that you clear your old pictures. Shall we go through this exercise 9? Do you want to go through this exercise 9, clearing your old pictures? Type yes in the chat box. Thank you. Okay, let's go through. When you're ready, close your eyes. Ground your body, connecting to your root chakra, deep into the center of the earth. Feel yourself being fully present in your body. Be in the room in the center of your head. Ground this room and release any old pictures from here. Turn your analyzer off. If there's anyone else in the center of your head, ask them to leave now. Breathe. Notice the earth energy. coming into your feet, up your legs. A constant flow of information about what is truly needed to be successful in your body on earth right now. Let your body absorb that information and release any picture which doesn't agree with this earth energy. See these pictures dropping like stones down your grounding and into the earth. Feel your body relaxing deeply. Breathe. Feel the cosmic energy coming down your back, up the front of your body, down each arm, and out your hands, and showering out of your energy boundaries in all directions. Let the cosmic energy carry away any loose pictures which you are ready to release right now. Feel the cosmic energy bringing in all the new information you need to be successful on earth right now. Let go of any picture that disagrees with this cosmic energy. Feel these pictures being carried away by the cosmic energy flow. Breathe. Move your awareness to the center of the head. Look out at your energy boundary. Notice all your pictures about how the world should or shouldn't be. See all of them lighting up in front of you. Decide which filters you can let go today so you can clearly see the world. Let those pictures release down the grounding. Breathe. Give yourself 100% permission to have your space, your story, and your beliefs. Give everyone else 100% to have their own space, their own stories, and their own beliefs. Feel how easy this position is. Smile and be amused. Say, I love owning my space. When you're ready, open your eyes. Okay, you want to share your experience? How do you feel? Any old pictures that you managed to release? Yes, no? So if you do this flushing every day, you find that people will over time see you very differently. They find that you're more open, that you have a growth mindset, you're more likable. In the end, the dynamic with them will be more positive, and they're more willing to help you or willing to share information with you and things like that. That will be a gradual 1 degree shift for the better, slowly but surely. And then in the physical world, if there are information that go against your old pictures, your beliefs, that's why I've shown you those few steps. Is it useful? Is it useful to you? Is it useful to other people? Can you do without those beliefs? If you can go do without those beliefs, then make the choice to let go And how to let go into the energy world, release down the grounding. Okay, how to do the releasing grounding? We have just gone through the guided meditation. Is that okay? Questions so far? Now, one more tips that I'm going to share with you about your pictures. You know, sometimes, for example, that's why I talk about James Bond, right? James Bond really don't want other people to know who he really is. So sometimes he may want to put up some pictures so that other people will see the pictures first before knowing who he really is. But maybe sometimes will never know who he is. So sometimes when we go into a situation, into an environment where, for example, you want to go into a job interview, for example, job interview. And that job interview, for example, is a leadership kind of role or position. Then you may want to put up pictures about you, pictures about you in leadership role, you know, or maybe, so that the interviewer will see your pictures first and then form the first impression that, oh, you really have the kind of leadership aura, you really have the kind of leadership quality, you know, and so that and then when you look at your CV or resume, hey, yeah, it's also stated there you have this, perform that, they will, what do you call that? They will form a very good first impression of you first. So sometimes we may want to do that, put up pictures, but of course, put up empowering pictures are not lousy, disempowering pictures. So this one way. Okay. Otherwise, what I usually do is that I will scan my what I call it, the three areas: chakra, internal boundaries, external boundaries, and give a command to say that those disempowering old pictures light up, with lights light up, and then I can see them properly, and then I give a command to say that flush it down. All those that lighted up, flush it down the grounding cord. So every day I'm keeping my pictures clean. Those pictures that is still there are all those healthy, positive, and empowering pictures that people, I'm okay for people to see. You get my point? All right. So with that, we have gone through all the 9 modules for this program. The last module, module 9, is a very powerful one, is to repackage yourself. Of course, not say repackage as though you are not the real you, but it's to basically, you know, create a new you so that people will start to know the real you, who you really are, and not those outdated pictures. Is that okay? So let's do a wrap up. Basically, throughout the whole 9 modules and in this program, I've shared with you several uh, um, guided meditation, but they can be grouped into these 3 major categories. Energy boundary, first one, very important, energy boundaries. And then clear foreign energies, how to flush it down. And not only foreign energies, clear old pictures. Because old pictures are basically stuck energies that are a lot of times outdated already, no longer relevant in today's world, but you're still holding on to that. So do a practice, do a routine to flush it out daily lah, or at least weekly. So just a quick recap, we've covered all the 9 modules. Number one, module 1 is what is energy, so that all of us are on the same page before we proceed further. Module 2 is about personal presence, how to quickly pull your, call back all your awareness, attention, and energy. Number 3 is a quick rundown on how to tune your life. Basically, there are 5 steps. And then we went to module 4, turn the analyzer off, is to help you clear the confusion, because once you clear confusion, you know what to do next. Next is module 5, tune the pain. We go run you through the guided meditation, how to tune all the pain. And then module 6 is sometimes when you try all these things out, you may get a better initially, but then things get worse after that. That's called tuning crisis. When it happens, run the sage mode energy, keep pressing on, clear the energies because those stuck energy want to come out. Also, give it a little nudge, it will come out totally. Next, all these are flushing. Okay, all these are removing flushing. So when we come to module 7, this is protecting yourself, is about creating a healthy and maintaining a healthy personal boundaries, so that you won't unintentionally or intentionally allow energies that's not yours to come into your energy system and run your life. Next, module 8 is who is in control. Your energy, your space, you have absolute control. Don't give up that control. Why? Because no one will maintain for you. No one has an obligation to maintain for you. And next, no one will respect your boundary if you don't respect your own. That is why you have to claim full absolute control. It's your responsibility. And last but not least, module 9 is to create a new you, where we talk about beliefs and old pictures. So clear your old pictures because they are no longer, a lot of them are no longer valid and already outdated. Right? Okay. So these are the tools that we have gone through. By and large, they are all the same. But the one that my personal best I like the most is sage mode exercise. Why? Because in the sage mode exercise, connecting to the heaven, cosmic energy, and the earth energy, in between, I can add in the healthy boundary exercise. I can also add in the clear all pictures exercise, all bundled up together in one huge mega stage mode exercise. 3 in 1. In fact, 3 in 1. Huh? All right. So this is the time where I should be advising you to integrate from today onward, integrate your physical and energy identity as one. They are not separately. It's like yin and yang. They are not a separate entity, but they are actually two sides of the same coin that define who you are, that define how your life should be run. Okay, so appreciate and understand that they are two sides of the same coin. They are both you, and try to integrate them together as one. And when you use both together, you find a gradual positive shift in your life over time, which is what we want. Is that okay? Any quick question? Okay, so if not, then basically we have come to the end of today's program. This entire program called Awaken the Unseen Energy Within. Now we started off with connecting the group energy. So I think we should also end it all with the group energy as well. Right? So are you still with me? We quickly run through this exercise 10 group connection. Type me if you are still with me right now. Type me in the chat box if you are still with me. And we run through this last bit of exercise and we are good to go. Okay, good. Thank you. All right. So when you are ready, go ahead. Close your eyes. Ground and run your energy. Say hello to the group, present time and future too, and the past too. And see everyone smiling back at you. Create a big bubble of energy in the middle of the circle. Put in all the learning information, the aha moments, all your gratitude and love for each other, and your intention for the next step into this bubble. Add a big dose of celebration for making it through. Create a big bubble above your head. Fill it up with a perfect mixture of energy from that group bubble, and in all the energy, the motivation and the love you need to continue the journey forward. Now open the bubble above you and feel yourself completely from head to toe, all the way to the energy boundaries and into every cell, Note that you are truly not alone. Admire that beautiful group bubble again and send it out to the world as an invitation to others to join in, for the whole world to move into that positive feedback loop. Now, together, at the count of three, let's pop that beautiful group bubble of energy and release it to the world. One, two, three. Release. See the amazing impact we are making it individually and as a group. As the energy spread around the world, let's close it with one final intention, which is may each of us continue to grow and expand individually and together. It is with great pleasure now that I graduate you from this program. Give yourself a deep breath and open your eyes. Welcome back. Okay, we are done with today's program. So, any quick question? If no, then let me go to my closing slides. Okay, remember when we start the program, I list out the training objectives. And what are the training objectives? Let's see whether this program has met those training objectives. Huh? Basically, it says here systematically awaken you to your energetic abilities, which include becoming more present, eliminating energy blocks, tuning yourself, creating healthy energetic boundaries. And by the end of this journey, means now you have evolved into your natural state as a competent, energy aware person with the ability to harness your energetic system and manifest greater clarity, tuning, abundance, and love in your inner and outer world. Now, give me a feedback whether we have met these training objectives. Helen is asking, how can we apply this on someone else to remove distractions? Okay, I'll address that. Thanks, Andy. You have affirmed that we have met the training objectives. Thank you very much. Now, Helen, back to your question. How can we apply this on someone else to remove distraction? Now, the best way is to teach them how to run their own energies. Like I say, if you are using this on someone else, of course, we can ground ourselves because it is ourselves. We can ground the house, we can ground the building, we can ground anything inanimate. But when you want to ground someone else, like say, I respect everyone having their own free will, so that I would not impose my grounding on someone without their permission. Okay, so the best way is to teach them how to run the energy themselves. They will find out. For example, teach them how to what do you call that? Um be present. At the same time, run the energy themselves. Flush away foreign energy. Whatever you have learned in these 9 modules, it's better this way. Teach them how to fish instead of you fish for them. Is that okay, Helen? Okay, so before we end today's this program, this lesson, can I ask you to type in the chat box one liner? What have you learned in this entire program that you can start using in your life? And they say flush away foreign energy. Thank you very much. Please use it. These are your tools now. Use it, do it. And even if you use it anywhere, everywhere, nobody will know that you're actually using it. So it's actually very subtle, very discreet also. Helen says sage mode grounding. Very good. Now, sage mode is a very powerful exercise, guided meditation exercise, whereby you can add in the analyzer portion, you can add in the flushing portion, you can also add in the clearing the old pictures portion. So it become a mega sage mode guided meditation exercise. Very powerful, right? So having said that, if you find that the energy training is very interesting and very powerful and useful, you know, wait till we talk about focus energy training or focus energy training. What I mean by focus energy training basically is something like, for example, how to use energy training to improve or to assess your intuition. This is something, it's a 3-hour workshop that we will be talking about next Saturday. So join us if you have not already done so. Okay. And there's another focus energy training is called the money frequency tuning. This is using energy training in the area of money frequency. Very powerful, very, very, very powerful because it will help you expand and enlarge your money container. All of us has a money container. And what's the size of the money container would really, really depend on all those pictures and stuck energies that you have. Some turn out to be very narrow, very small money container. So every time, if it can only contain $2,000, then you find that wherever how you run your life, your salary is always about $2,000 per month. That is how big your container is. If you want to enlarge the container so that you can expand, then you have to work with energy in the energy world to increase the capacity of your money container. And that's where the money frequency tuning program comes in. Okay, this is next year program. Next year, I think it's in February, if I'm not wrong. Okay, now in October. Okay, no, not in October. In November, these are the two last workshop for the entire year, which is Tao Te Ching Workshop 2 and the annual I Ching seminar for 2025. This will be the last two workshop for the year. And after that, December, no class, no workshop, no seminar, nothing else. It's my break time. Okay. So next year, I have three brand new programs which you may be interested to know. Number one, that's not talk about the money frequency tuning. This is another focus energy training part. We talk about money frequency. This is in February. And then in May, there is this career success magic. It is a focus feng shui kind of energy training, more on career and knowing your four personal power sectors where you should pay attention to help with your career success. And then in October, 黄帝内经, the Tao of Healthy Living, will dive deep into the intricacy of this classic called 黄帝内经 that talk about health and wellness. Now, this is a very good learning if you want to improve in the area of feng shui and eating prediction when we look at health. Because I think in eating and feng shui, I always say that your circle of competence in the subject matter must be strong before you're able to pick up information about health and wellness. So a lot of people are asking me how to improve in the circle of competence for health and wellness. Well, this is the program. 黄帝内经, the Tao of Healthy Living. This is in October next year. Okay, so without much question from you all, before you exit this webinar platform, can I ask that you fill up the feedback form? Let me throw in the what do you call that? The link to the feedback form into the chat box. Give me a minute, huh? Okay, so here's the link to the feedback form. Appreciate that you can fill up the feedback form, before you quit your Windows, right? And then you'll be redirected to the Flash Deal Corner. Then you can do all the sign up that you want. Now, for those first time new students, we will send you the certificates in the coming week. And then the video will be sent for processing. And once ready, it will be uploaded to the training portal and we'll keep you informed. Then you can log in to watch back again. Next year, if you run this as refresher, then we'll invite you back. Do come back for refresher so that learn new skills and new tricks and perhaps new case study on how we creatively use energy training to become a better version of ourselves. Right? So any last question from anyone? If no, then thank you for your time. I hope you've enjoyed this program as much as I do. I hope to see you back in October for the two last remaining workshop for the year, which is Tao Te Ching Workshop 2 and the annual eating seminar for 2025. Right. So thank you very much. Have a good week, a good weekend, and see you soon. Bye bye.